Hello again, everybody. Well, today we are out in the wily wilds of Chattanooga looking for the Kings Point Cemetery. I'll give you a little bit more information on it when we find it. I'm here with my buddy Justin Strickland. He's a local author. He is also a mine train guy and a historian for this local piece of Chattanooga. Anyway, guys, this is an interesting little cemetery. It's been abandoned for quite a while. Let's go look for it and have some fun. Well, we found the outliers of it. There's a headstone or two over there, but you can see, or I don't know if you can see, there's definitely a lot of sunken areas around here. Now, I said that I would tell you about the cemetery. So it was a pretty prestigious ceremony or cemetery back in the day, and it dates back to the early 1800s. And some of the earliest burials that at least have been documented are for the Sylvie family, and if I'm mispronouncing that, please correct me in the comments below. As such, some of the local folks call this a Sylvie cemetery, and it's on TVA land. And the only reason it survived this area is because when TVA came in, they flooded, I don't know, roughly about 24 cemeteries. They had to move them too, but they did a great job on it. And evidently some of the last burials might have been as late as 1961, although most of the documented ones are in the 40s. And the guy that documented it in the 40s even says that when he came and looked at the place that it was in bad shape. So one of the interesting epitaphs, and we'll try to find it, is Sam Cleage Lumpkin, who was murdered over a dogfight. And I guess the worst thing that you can know about is that the Woodward family were going to get their pictures taken, and they got into the wagon and they were on their way to Chattanooga for a photograph, and at the railroad tracks near Orchard Knob they were hit by a train, and everybody but a 3-year-old Virgie Woodward was killed. And Justin says that the headstones that are right here, this is them. So
Jody Woodward, Laura Woodward, George Woodward, and I guess those are the kids, and there's the footstones.
So
wow.
So that's one set, and I apologize if you can't see them that much. This is that time of day where it's very hard to film against the sun, but you can see
all had the same date of death.
Yep.
February 23rd.
And there's their footstones. So let's continue to take a look around, shall we? And these were made out of concrete, and they have snapped, but somebody has been nice and at least positioned them by their stuff. And if anybody knows, some of these feet stones say stuff like CW or some others, I'm not sure. Anyway, let's continue on. And apologies for the sunlight. You can see that the sunlight is really messing with things, but you can see the headstones out there. That's sunken in, so that casket has probably collapsed at some point. I don't know where the headstone is for that. You have got Snyder from 1913. These have fallen in, and we have some fencing over there, so that's probably a family plot over that way. Ironically, a lot of these cemeteries that I seem to have been filming lately have a lot of this stuff around the cemetery. I don't know if it was deliberately planted or if nature just kind of did that. You can see older headstones going off that direction, but I'm going to go over here and take a look at this fenced in spot. And while there might not be headstones for some, you can see the sunken areas are literally everywhere throughout this area. Unfortunately, a lot of these are probably just lost for time. Clifford Ellison, 1909 to 1921. That is a child.
The lamb on top?
Yep. Thelma Marie, daughter of, I can't read it, but, oh, there we go. There are definitely some over in here. I'm gonna
A lot smaller ones.
try to straddle.
James Clark.
So James Clark.
1923.
All right, I'm gonna try to. I really don't like stepping on the graves.
Me neither. 1897. J.T. Horner. I can't see the name.
Horner from 1909. Wife of this cemetery has got some stones that date so far back that they have faded.
In comparison to the other ones you visited, Andy, what
This one is remote, so it's not as bad. There doesn't seem to be as much where it's really gotten trashed. It's just overgrown. I've seen worse, but they were kind of deliberately overgrown and no one's taken care of them, kind of thing.
Oh, luckily there doesn't seem to be much vandalism.
Well, we're so far off the beaten path that unless you really know where this place is, I don't think that'd be that big of a problem. That's another one that I can't hardly tell what it says.
Yeah, that's pretty.
You can see. Yeah, this may be the Horner corner, no pun intended. And there's a lot of Horners over here. Anyway, let's work our way that way. Don't know if I'll be able to. Nope, that one's too faded to read. And that one has definitely fallen in.
That's probably the largest one so far, that 1902.
Looks like a double.
Lindsay.
Yeah, it looks like a double because look at the other side.
Yep.
Husband and wife, probably.
Maddie and Nanny. 1910, 1902.
Oh, 1888 to 1902. Man, there's a lot of sunken spots. I'm pretty sure that was a leftover headstone. You can kind of see the last little bit of carving left in it.
There's some like this one on the right.
It's
like
literally
markers
it's
then.
literally crumbled. Well, these are the old school ones that are stone. That while they may have carved into it, the carving isn't nearly as deep as what I'd call modern carvings. So they only probably lasted 50 or 60 years, and then
I guess water leaking into it and then freezing would cause them to crack.
yep.
There's just so many that are obvious grave sites that have no.
Well, I mean, here's another one that's sunk in. Ooh, here's another one. Here's another one. Oh, yeah. Trying to dodge those. There's another small piece, right? I mean, you really can't see it on the camera, folks, but there are literally a bunch of little ones all over the place.
My understanding, the center of the cemetery was the top of the hill. And
We're pretty much in the center of the cemetery
we're
then.
getting really close.
Come ye blessed.
Gracie Hanley.
1881 to 1905. There's a lot more sunken in areas. Oh! I can't tell what that one says. It's falling over. Man, a lot of these are so old that and it's so shady around here. You can just see these little sunken in areas everywhere. Green stuff seems to follow where the cemetery is. Oh, here's another one. And very old. Very old. Harvey Sanders. So Harvey Sanders, 1889 to 1927. I don't see a fence either about where the boundary is. I'm just following this little trail over here. It looks like this stuff kind of stops about right here. So I'm not seeing a lot of sunken in areas over on this corner. So that's where I was a second ago, but we've definitely come back up into another area. Justin says that all of the names around here appear to be wooden.
Becky and Jim Wooden.
Becky and Jim Wooden.
1925, 1923. Another Wooden right here, it's 1935, so I'm noticing a lot of them 20s.
You can see the older ones.
Maybe not live very long. 1899 to 1935.
That one needs some love. There's one over there in the corner. There's fencing around this. You can see more headstones going up the hill, but we'll check them out here in a second. Bennett Wooden, 1930s. 1933, 35? 1970.
17.
Oh, 17.
Ruth. You know what? Look at the footstone. RLH.
Uh-huh.
The footstones are some of their initials.
Okay, so then footstones must be initials then.
RL Hazelwood. RLH. Yep. So, somewhere if we make our way over to the right is the collapsed
Mausoleum.
building.
Okay,
Very
and
small though.
all it's got to do is, oh, look, there's another fenced-in area. And a lot more sunken-in areas. Oh, I don't even see a headstone in here. Well, if there are headstones, they're gone now.
This ironwork is pretty incredible.
Oh yeah.
All right, now we get up here, we should see the top of it somewhere. So I know it's on the slope going down, facing up.
And here's another headstone.
Facing it.
I really want to find that gentleman's headstone. He was killed over a dogfight, but I have a feeling we're not going to find him.
Yeah, there's so many that are missing.
And that may have just been documented by the...
Hey, Andy, there's a different fenced-in area on the right.
Headstone over here. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch.
Mary Good? Yeah, I see her age. 1897, 1900.
So good, and I don't know if that's a footstone or is that something else. Well, the footstone's only supposed to be a small little thing. And Lord, I'm going to go down over this way. You can still see the sunken in areas in the ground and more headstones. $1905. Something, Manchester E. I don't know.
Which one are you laughing
Manchester E. something.
This is a Barbie.
Which one was that one?
Barbie, B-A-R-B-E-E. 1921. You see a lot of people that passed away in 20.
Mary Slesley. If I'm mispronouncing that, if anybody knows, please let me know in the comment. 1890. Okay, so we're gonna work our way down to the mausoleum through all the spider webs. That one you can see that there was carving in, but it is gone. And we are really close to the railroad tracks, I believe, or at least a set of railroad tracks. More headstones that probably fell and people have just stacked them up against the tree. Look at all of the sunken in areas. Looks like they just buried them side to side, and oh my, look at that. Well, we found the mausoleum. I wonder if...
That's the top of the roof. There's nothing left of it.
Do we know who was in this mausoleum?
No, not at all. Not that I've been able to find.
Oh. Well, it's collapsed, but
It doesn't seem to be as ornate as most mausoleums would be.
there's really nothing
It's all brick.
on this side. It's all brick, so... There's another fenced-in area. We'll get to it here in a second, but I gotta work my way out of this brush. So if anybody knows who was buried in the mausoleum, please comment below in the sections. There's no report of who was buried, but I'm gonna go up that way.
Oh, that's incredibly deep.
It was very deep. I don't know if that is... I don't know if y'all can see this, but that's several feet deep. I don't know if... These are weird. Maybe they buried them vertically? I don't know.
Really hard. East.
Sylvie.
Sylvie?
So... I don't know about the rest of the family, but... TJ, Sylvie, and Sarah Sylvie are right here. So... somewhere around in here is the Sylvie section. Another gate, more sunken areas. Mac Reed. These things that I don't think should have any reason to be here.
Whoa. What kind of plants are those? I don't remember those here.
Some kind of decorative stuff, but they definitely don't belong in these woods. So I'm thinking somebody might have brought a bunch of flowers and they went wild. Yeah, they were able to re-germinate. Well, here is more, and more headstones that have fallen off. Ooh, those are briars. I am going to have to wiggle my way through. Oh, and more headstones, and more. I mean, they're for everybody undocumented. I mean, there's got to be hundreds of graves in here, just based off of the sunken in areas. Mary, wife of G. Horner. You know, guys, I want to thank my buddy Justin.
Sweaty me.
For showing this beautiful cemetery. Hopefully, maybe a group can get in here and clean it up a little bit, or at least get the headstones polished up so they can be more easily read. All in all, for an abandoned cemetery, this place is not in supremely terrible shape. That's another Horner, so we're definitely
We're back
in the Horner section, and then we're back in the other part. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna hike on out of here, and I'm gonna go off on some more journeys. Until then, why don't you go on a journey of your own? We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.